I started lighting stoves when I was 4 years old and working with them professionally when I was 16. This is the FDC5 Wide Eco, and it's the first stove I've ever used with ceramic fire bricks. FDC is a relatively small manufacturer that makes an FDC4, a 5, this widescreen version, and a larger 8 kilowatt. They all have this same traditional yet plain design. They're made from steel with cast iron doors. They have proper multi-fuel wriggling grates with an ash pan underneath. And as mentioned before, they've all got these ceramic fire bricks, which are a bit more costly, but very tough and long lasting.
Let's light it.
You're an ass.
What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You haven't said let's light it.
Yeah, you stole
Nobody knows what you're doing if you don't say that.
You stole my bit. I fully closed this one because it's proper multi-fuel stove, so it's got a lower air vent here, this vent all the way to the right to open up, and that's a nice fan.
That is a nice fan.
It is a nice fan, isn't it?
Why can you get such a fan?
Well, that'd be spinning in a minute, wouldn't it?
It would be spinning it.
Yeah. No batteries, just does it by itself.
Amazing.
I know. Well, that was up to temperature in just over a quarter of an hour, and I could have put more wood on and it would have been faster, but yeah, things with multi-fuel grates are very quick to light. The FDC is a modern stove, so it's got all the modern approvals, eco design, DEFRA approval if you want it to, and it runs at over 80% efficiency as well. So cleanness is pretty good. In terms of clean glass, I've used this for 3 days on the trot without cleaning the glass. I haven't cleaned it for this review, so it can definitely run clean. If you try and close it down to run overnight, this is a proper multi-fuel stove, so to get wood to run overnight you have to shut it right down, and it does blacken on the glass in that situation. But most people are going to use this for evenings and weekends, and they're going to have no struggle at all. If you want to keep it in for longer periods, you're going to benefit from that coal usage, which is what that grate's set up for. Comes with some very lovely big gloves that go sort of half the way up your arm. It's great. The handle obviously looks smart, but does get hot. So you do need the gloves, and the controls are a little bit fiddly. All of this gets a bit hot, so you will need those gloves. It does come with a really nice stainless steel tool, which you can use to wriggle the grate even when it's in use, so that's quite convenient. And obviously it removes the ash pan as well, as you can see here. When you come to actually control the stove, you'll need the gloves. This spinner, this is what you'll control when you're burning mainly coal, because that will need air from underneath. You might do it a bit when you're lighting, but you'll soon close it again if you're burning wood. And if we there we go. That one can lock in position if you twist it, but that's now fully open. And if we close this off and then close this off, it is amazingly controllable. You know, really astoundingly controllable. This doesn't have the DEFRA kit on it, so it is at peak performance right now, but controllability wise it's really excellent, and that's why you can get it to burn overnight with just wood, even though this is a multi-fuel stove. It's just, it won't, if you do close it down to that sort of level, it won't necessarily achieve the cleanest of burns.
Did you say what you'd give it out of 10?
Well, in terms of the controls get a bit hot, but overall I would say this is a 7 out of 10. I get a little bit picky because I want things to run clean even when they're closed down, and this is beautifully controllable, but you have to open it a bit to keep it clean. We test fuel economy by getting the stove up to operating temperature and then burning a single net of kiln-dried logs on it to see how long we can keep it there with the glass clean and at operating temperature. This one did it for 8 to 10 hours, which was a really good score. This is a multi-fuel stove, and obviously we were testing it on wood, so it is at a disadvantage, but stayed clean for 8 to 10 hours at operating temperature, so it earned a 7 out of 10. When you burn coal on it, you can actually achieve a pretty clean burn for a very long burn, but and overnight is possible as well. But you will need quite a tough fuel for that flue, because the fuel is pretty acidic and pretty nasty to flues. But mostly people are going to be using this for evenings and weekends, and wood obviously gives you that beautiful picture and lots of flame, and an 8 to 10 hour burn, so it's very, very good. This stove has a relatively standard design, but it is very well priced. The handle and the controls aren't super practical and they get hot, but it does suit this traditional aesthetic. Both me and Amy are fans of the look. This cast iron front is smart, and though its hot handles and controls are less practical, I buy into it's sort of part of the fun of a traditional stove. The look is obviously subjective, but if you're after flexibility or a focal point for the evening, or if you're planning to burn quite a lot of smokeless fuel, then this stove is definitely worth looking at.